leaders about what works, what doesn't work, and what some of the best practices are for continuing to solidify and expand teams and chapters. So you'll get that opportunity, followed by a report out. And finally, we'll hear from two of the best, Cindy Lay in Colorado, and we'll hear from one of the best, Cindy Lay in Colorado, about some of her best practices in organization building out in the beautiful state of Colorado. So we'll close out with question and answer and go from there. But before I take it over to the exciting sort of office review, I just want to talk really quickly about what's happened since we last spoke together. The first thing is, as many of you remember, it feels like a long time ago, but the President delivered his State of the Union address for the year and focused on a few of the issues that we've been working tirelessly on. I think people were particularly excited about the line, women's issues line, where he referred to bad men. But the President also spoke about gun violence prevention, climate change, economic and fiscal issues. And then he introduced a new topic that we have just started organizing around at OFA nationally, but have been organizing in one state for a while. And that topic is the minimum wage fight, the fight for 10/10 minimum wage in every state in the United States. So my home state of Massachusetts has done fantastic work, helped by the brilliant OFA volunteer leaders out there and our awesome alumni state director, Paul Milton, at the helm. But we are really excited to be hosting a National Day of Action in about a week on that topic, and expect to hear more from us and provide or expect more support on that as the weeks go by. So we'll be following the President's lead as we continue to patch together the calendar of days of action for the next few months. And we're incredibly excited to be heading out to D.C. to see many of you in person at our February 25th summit with the President, where we'll review where we've done and where we're going heading into the last critical month of the Affordable Care Act enrollment period. So a lot on the docket for this month. We have some fun things planned online and offline to thank you and to show you support. But in the meantime, we want to show you our new dig in Chicago. If you're ever here in person, email through your state leadership, and we will arrange a fancy tour for you, and you'll get lots of hugs and cheers along the way. But for now, the virtual version will have to do. So I'm going to show you the big main room. We don't have a name for this room yet, so you can suggest one. And we're going to. It's going to be a little wobbly as we walk, so bear with us. But this is Jen Warner and Stefan Schaefer. Stefan runs the Spring Fellowship Program. He started himself as a fellow in California and quit his job as a scientist, or his school as a scientist, to do this work. We have the amazing Jen Warner, my deputy. Oh, wait. I know. Yes, where she hailed from. This entire row here, the office is organized in rows, and it's really similar to those of you who saw the 2012 headquarters. Ashley Pinedo, our amazing national training director, the 2012 national headquarters was an open office space, and Jim Messina, who helped design the office in the first place in 2012, and then again this time, wanted it to be open, without cubicles, without any barriers, because it represents the transparency and the open communication lines that we're committed to. Another fun thing about this office that's similar to the offices in years past is that it's organized by regional pods, we call them. So you can see there's a couple people sitting over here in this corner together, and they're folks who work on the Northeast. So they're from different departments. We have integrated department seating, but we are so focused on the state, so focused on supporting you that the way that we sit is even oriented around it. So if you you can see there's really light areas. It's so bright you can't make out or distinguish the specifics, but those are two open conference rooms where people can have meetings. We haven't named them yet, so we're taking suggestions for names. If you want to type it into the chat box, you can feel welcome to do that. And then finally, the glass doors over here on this side are the senior staff offices. And you can see there's glass. Again, transparency is a core commitment that we have here at OFA. And you can see the communications team here working diligently, talking to different members of press across the country. Lindsay Seiler, our National Issues Director, sits there. Jen Warner and I sit in the room with all the maps. You can't really see too clearly, but we'll post a picture on Twitter. And we've got a lot of big open space with enough seating for about 60 people, mixed mostly between the issues team and the grassroots team. So at this point, we're going to actually transition to a different computer to show you the single most exciting portion of this new office. It's called the OFA Community Organizing Institute. And I'm actually going to kick the camera over for a second to the one and only Melissa McNeil. Hold on, before we go too far. She is the new director of the Community Organizing Institute. And I'm actually going to ask her impromptu to tell you just a little bit about what this is, how you too can participate if you come out here to Chicago at any time, and why we're doing this as a part of our larger efforts to be ingrained in the Chicago progressive community for generations to come. Melissa McNeil, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be on the computer with you. I have in my hand a piece of pretty list that explains what the Community Organizing Institute is. It actually gives you a few dates of the stuff that we have going on. The Community Organizing Institute is looking to become a hub for progressive activity in Chicago. And to that end, we have film screenings. We have our very first screening tonight. So if you happen to be in Chicago, or if you happen to know anyone who is in Chicago and they want to know how we are the third largest Twitter account in the universe, then please send them to our offices, which you're about to go over to the space. Send them here at 5:30 tonight. We're going to be here from 5:30 to 7. Send me an email at coi@barackobama.com if you want to be on our list to see what other fun, exciting things we have coming up. There's going to be a lot of great stuff, and I hope to see some of you there.
All right. So at this point, we're going to actually show you the room itself. So we'll transition the helm over to Ryan Griffin, and I'm going to go walk over and join him to show you some of the details. So we'll be with you in just a minute. All right. So if you could turn the computer screen this way so folks can see. I'm now at there you go. I'm now at the entrance to the Community Organizing Institute, which is our brand new 150-person space. And if you could stay right there, Ryan, we'll keep it sort of at a distance, and I'm going to walk around the side here. Basically, it's a bright, beautiful, airy space that has movable furniture and chairs. And starting today, we're having our first of a longer training series that'll feature documentary films once a month. It'll feature happy hours every once in a while. And it's also a free training space for anybody, any progressive group in the Chicago progressive community to use as they like. We know that all of you in the state spend a lot of time and resources and political capital getting some of our partner organizations to let you host phone banks, to let you host parties in their spaces. And we want to return the favor back here in the Chicago community, pay it forward a little bit. And so we opened up this beautiful space that is going to be used a lot by us and a lot by our partner organizations over the coming years. So this is the Community Organizing Institute. And again, if you're ever in Chicago, there's events happening here just about every week, and we'd love to have you all join us on that. So I want to remind folks before I go to our last part of the office, the really cool digital wing. It's a totally separate side of the office full of our fantastic digital staff, that you can tweet about this call. You can tweet about the work that you're doing with the hashtag OFA Vol Leaders. And Brandon Thompson's going to correct me if I said that wrong. And so at this point, we're going to transition over to digital wing. You've seen the grassroots and issues wing where Carson and the rest of the senior staff sit, seen our amazing training space. You haven't seen the entrance. You have to come see that yourself in person. But last but not least, we're going to see the digital realm where all the emails are sent, where our website is developed and upkept, where President's Twitter account is maintained, and all our Facebook and social media accounts are updated on an hour-by-hour basis. So give us a second as I make the transition. And Ryan's going to follow me with the camera so you can see how the spaces are connected. If you go this way, if you go one direction, I think you lost it. That's okay. We're going to head over to the space here. All right. So I'm in the digital area, and you can see I just walked in from that sunny staff space. That's where the OFA Community Organizing Institute connects with our digital space. Some really fun couches that team members work on. We, as all of you know and remember, we live and work out of this space, so we spend a lot of time not at our desk trying to get creative. But this team in particular gets extraordinarily creative because they're the ones, and hear them laughing, they're being creative. They're the ones that come up with our fantastic emails. They're the ones that come up with the social media content that has made us the third most followed Twitter account in the universe and helped us get out the word about the fantastic events that all of you have done. So I'm going to kind of move this way, and I want to introduce a very special team member. We have Han here, who I'm going to ask to say an impromptu hello. One of our favorite, at the organizing side, the grassroots team, one of our favorite teams to work with is the digital organizing crew. Han is part of the digital organizing crew. We work together in Virginia, and the work that they do supports the state accounts and the state Facebook pages and state narratives that help us be as local as humanly possible. So, Han, will you say a little bit about the work that you do and why you got into this?
Sure. Hey, everyone. What a delightful surprise. So basically what we do is myself and a number of other folks on the digital organizing team. We work with volunteers just like you who actually manage our state accounts, which is really exciting and a really great opportunity to get involved in a different aspect of the organizing that we do. And the main function of these state pages, if you're in North Carolina, it's OFA North Carolina. California has its own state page, Facebook and Twitter. The main purpose of these pages is to tell the narrative, tell the story of what's happening on the ground, namely all the amazing things that you are doing and accomplishing on the ground for the issues that we fight really hard for. Tell the story and raise narratives so that more people can hear about what you're doing, be aware of what's going on, and hopefully convert them to help work on these amazing issues that you're organizing on. Yeah, it's getting the word out and doing amazing things. So,
awesome. And Han himself started as a volunteer digital lead,
yeah.
So now he gets to find and mentor volunteer digital leads himself. So
yeah,
full circle.
It's amazing stuff.
All right.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks for your work, Han. All right, so we're going to transition over to another impromptu person that I really am excited and thrilled to introduce. One of the resources that's most requested by all of you volunteer leaders on the call today is emails. And emails really help us. It's the thing that we're most known for. No one knows exactly how many email addresses are on our list. But our director of email and our deputy director of email are two amazing women in leadership positions. There's many women in leadership positions at OFA. These are two of the best. And I want to kick it over to Caitlin and then Amanda for a second, if they're willing, to talk to all our volunteer leaders here who are watching from across the country a little bit about the work that you do and what that looks like here in headquarters.
Sure. So welcome to you're in digital land. This is the email team. There's 9 of us spread out down here, and pretty much we send all the emails that you receive in your inboxes every day. Everything from big national sends. We're doing a contest now where folks volunteer to help spread the word on APA. They will be automatically entered for a chance to meet the president. So we'll be pushing that for Wednesday. If you haven't signed up, I encourage everyone to get your name in the hat. We also do a bunch of one-off events for state-specific and local events going on. So a lot of the things that y'all are involved in, we'll sometimes jump in and help film for. But in any given day, we cover a lot of issues.
How many emails do you think you send in one day?
Oh my gosh. We usually send 4 or 5 different kinds of emails, but sometimes it's going to the full list, all the people or just some of the people. So millions. I think it's insane.
So insane. All right, I'm going to introduce Amanda and then thank you, Caitlin. Amanda, I'm curious what your favorite email that you've written has been. If you have a top couple emails, or is that like choosing a favorite child?
No, there's definitely a favorite. My favorite ones are when we get to talk to people who've been impacted by gun violence and then get to tell their stories. So those, like, it's just the best one.
What is there a particular one that moved you?
If you remember back in June when we did stuff with the 6-month anniversary with Newtown, and we got to work with Erica Lafferty, whose mom was killed in Newtown. That was just like,
Did you talk to her?
yeah, it was the best worst phone call of my year.
Yeah. Wow, you got to tell her story.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great. We're like so privileged to get to it.
Awesome. Well, on behalf of all the volunteer leaders in the Paul, thanks to the email team for sending all the emails to the states that helped fill the events available. And I think at this point, we're going to transition back into the main room to continue with our call. But let's do one last sweep of this whole area. This is the largest digital team in the universe. There are, progressive politics universe. There are 45 some odd members of the digital team here. They are the smartest of the smart. They could all be making 3 times the salary they're making elsewhere. Cover your ears. And and they don't. They decided to do this work supporting all of you. So thanks, guys. Thanks from all of us. And say hi to the volunteer leaders. Woo! Oh, you guys are getting a round of applause. All right, cheers. Well, we're moving on. Thanks, digital team, for bearing with us. And I'm going to head this way. You can see the hallway down here. It's a little bit unfinished. And we're gonna see if we can stress this, because we have a very special member of the team here. This is Toby Fallsgraf, who's speaking on a landline right now. He's so fancy that he sends emails from this. If you can see, can you show this phone a little bit closer? This is his personal phone. He's in charge of the most sophisticated digital operation in progressive politics. So tell us a little bit about what you do day to day, other than pounding on the phone.
I think people do this work and they make it look smart. And I basically send emails on this. Pretty much that's what I do. But
anything you want to say to the volunteer leaders of America that are pouring the access right now?
First of all, welcome. We are very proud to be showing off our team and our office to you. And thanks for all you do. You make us look great. We try to return the favor whenever we can. So, but I really got to get back.
You do.
All
right. Well, Toby is also most fun person in headquarters meetings with us. So with that, we're gonna shoot your eyes down the hall, and I'm just gonna walk this way down the fancy hallway back to the first computer where we started. You can see everything's connected. It's all a circle. It's like the organizing cycle. The whole office, and we'll close up the call with some organization building best practices. So thanks, and bye, Team Digital. Woohoo! So you can't see this, but I'm walking through a little kitchen area. People actually leave their desks to eat nowadays, which is pretty exciting and new. It took a while to train them that they could do that, but we had a couple professional development sessions and it sunk in. And with that, I hope that all of you had fun touring our fantastic office. We're so proud of it. We're so excited to see so many of you in the future when you come and visit Chicago. So make sure you email us. And I'm going to kick it to the lady of the hour, Ms. Jen Warner, to talk about the organization building that all of us help support you in doing from this beautiful headquarters.
Yay! Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to be joining you, and I'm going to apologize right away because when we do webinars, my first instinct is to look at a camera, and then I get distracted by myself. So I'm really glad that it's over to the side, so I can focus right here on what we're going to talk about. So we're going to take just a few minutes to talk really about organizational building, give you guys an opportunity to talk with each other in groups of about 4 or so from across the country, so that you can share your ideas on how organization building is going in your state, good ideas, best practices that you have, as well as some of the challenges that you're encountering. And I'm sure through those brainstorms come up with great ways that we can help to deal with those challenges both on the ground as well as support that you might need from headquarters or from your state staff to help overcome those hurdles. And then we're going to report back. So if you've heard some really great things in your breakout, we'll leave some time at the end for you to press 1 and share what you've heard to bring those ideas forward what we know and think about here at headquarters to help support you in building your chapters. And then as Sarah said at the top of the call, we'll go to Cindy out in Denver, Colorado to hear what he's doing at building chapters out there. So, just to give a bit of a framework for a breakout discussion, the one thing that OFA does that no other organization does is build chapters, build teams. And that doesn't just mean a group of volunteers coming together to do calls or to knock on doors as told by their staff, but it's really about having an entry point for people who want to make a difference in their community on the issues that matter to them. And then as a part of that team, learning the real ins and outs of building strategic organizing in their community, why it is that we talk to folks about particular issues, how it is we can create press events that will garner earned media attention, learning how to make those hard asks and do volunteer recruitment, because as much as organizing is about really listening and building relationships with others, there's also a science to it as well. And it is through the teams and the leadership that you guys are building that we are able to sustain this movement long into the future. So we want to give it the opportunity for you guys to talk about how that is going. We know that there are also lots of challenges, particularly as we have seen with OFA 4.0. There are lots of issues that are moving. It is hard to predict the calendar on a lot of these issues, and that can throw roadblocks into building your chapter. So I want to give you guys a chance to talk about two really important questions. One, what have you done or what are you doing to build a robust volunteer infrastructure to meet your chapter-specific organizational goals? And two, if time and resources were not a factor, what would you like to do to strengthen your teams right now? And what maybe are some of the things that we can do here in headquarters to help support you in doing that? So the two questions again: one, what have you done or what are you doing to build a robust volunteer infrastructure so that you can meet your organizational goals? And two, if time and resources were not an issue, what more would you like to do to help build and support your team? So give us just a minute. We're going to break everyone up into groups of about 4 or so from across the country. And we'll give you about 6 minutes to talk and share. And we'll give you a warning ahead of time. That way, if you're having a really great conversation, you can make sure to jot down the email of the person that you're talking with to follow up later. And then we'll come back together and hear from you all. So give us just a second. You are now in a breakout. Please begin.
Hi, is anybody out there with me?
Hi, I'm Phyllis Andrews, and I'm just kind of a lurker.
We'll work together.
Yeah, right. I haven't been doing very much since the election. Actually, I've been working with the Collier County Democrats more than with OFA, but I just like to see what's happening, and so I'm just here to learn and listen.
Where do you live?
It's Naples, Florida. Collier County, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be there. I'm in the land of snow and ice up here in Chicago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 17 below wind chill today. How about it?
You're kidding. Well,
No.
I used to live in Crown Point, Indiana, so I know what that's like.
Well, I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm the Seattle lead, and I have to tell you, we have snow, but it's warm now.
Yeah, this, and anybody who doesn't believe it's not due to something related to climate change is just stick up their heads in the sand, and that's what I keep hearing from people. Oh, it's just cyclical, Anyway, well, I'm not an OFA leader. I'm an ACA lead in our chapter, a Northwest Suburbs Organizing for Action.
Great.
And somehow, Sarah Mee sent me an invite to this because I have been taking more of an active role. I'm like the host of our ACA press event downtown tomorrow, and we had one last month, and then I volunteered again. So I guess I'm in a more leadership role, but I'm not a lead of the chapter. But I could just see that we need to do more of that. We need to Twitter more. We need to get our word out to the press And I just got a letter to the editor in the Daily Herald, and I'm hoping it goes in the Chicago Tribune too. So
Great.
for our ACA.
Great. I just read one also.
Yeah, they've been asking us to do it. They've been asking us to do it. Yeah. So I have a pretty good track record of. I mean, I've only written 4 in my entire life since 2010, and every time I write one, it gets in. This time I'm hoping it gets in the Tribune too, because those get picked up nationally too.
Right. Absolutely.
You start a trend. So I don't know. Anybody else on the call? Then we got Washington, we got Chicago, we got Florida. I want to go to Florida. What's the temperature?
Actually, we're having better weather in Washington.
I think it's about 80 degrees here.
Oh, God. Can I come down? Can I get your address and I'll just come down and fly with you? I'll sleep on your living room floor. I won't take up any space.
Oh, no, I have a guest bed.
Where in Florida is it?
Oh, I'm in Naples, Florida.
Naples.
Nice and far south, so it's really warm.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just got a request to write a letter to the editor, and I just did it today. However, I can't really submit it until I talk to the guy that I helped sign up for the Affordable Care Act to make sure it's okay with him, because a lot of people that read it might know who he is from the fact that I wrote the letter. So,
did you put his name in there? Because I told stories in the second person. Like, I have a friend. I said, I have a friend who has her son she's concerned about. Or I have another friend whose boyfriend, went all these years without insurance. Then he got in an accident. Then he was wondering why, wishing he had signed up for Obamacare. So things like that. I never said their names. I was wondering if it would get published, and it did. I, of course, used the president's address and his example as a real example, but with names. But I did not want to put their names. She said she would not let me use the story if I put their actual names.
Exactly. Well, I just am requesting that this guy let me use the story even, because some of the people that know both of us will be able to figure it out who it is. So
I see.
Even though his name's not on there. And he's got one problem. We finally had success after about 3 weeks of kind of messing around. We had success with a navigator, and he received his bill of $298 a month, and he paid it, and he probably did that about a month ago, but he hasn't yet received his insurance card, so he's worried about that. And I just left a message on his phone to see if he had called about it today, because he was going to. But anyway, it's a pretty heartwarming story because it was a success in the end. However, in Florida, we didn't accept the Medicaid expansion. So any individual making under $11,499 a year will not be covered. So that is very sad for Florida.
Oh, I know. Florida is in horrible shape. The governor won't expand Medicaid or anything, So
what
you guys
happened,
are...
Yeah.
Right?
What happened
Isn't that
with
true?
yes, but the governor said, I'm not going to be involved with it. I want the House of Representatives to vote on it. And they voted it down. So, and then at the last minute, the governor said, well, I'm for it after all. So, but it was already voted down, and so we do have an opportunity to try to have another vote on it. And we've been, calling the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House, and urging them to try to pass it because it's ridiculous. However, the Speaker of the House wrote me a paper letter saying there's no way he will ever accept the Medicaid expansion because the United States is too much in debt. And it's very sad because his family took Medicaid when they were young. So it's just really sad.
Wow. We're very lucky in Washington because Governor Inslee worked on his campaign. Lovely man. But the day after his inauguration, he started the state's program to computerize it.
Oh.
And actually, even in the Seattle area, I know we didn't riot during the during the Super Bowl, but that is what it is here. Gay bar got burned down, New Year's Eve hate crime, and everybody in the community pitched in. Now, this is kind of representative here, where we coordinate with other groups like Human Rights of Washington and those.
All right. Welcome back from the breakout. Hopefully those were some really great conversations that you were able to get started. If you have anything that you want to share that you heard from your breakouts that you'd love to share to the group, please press 1 on your phone now, and we'll be able to come to you and unmute your phone so we can hear from you. So please press 1 if you heard or have some great ideas that you'd love to share with the whole group. All right, we're just waiting for all the folks to press 1 so we can get them all recorded, and then we'll start looking through. And, all right, I think we are ready, and we will start with Jenny. Jenny, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Two things. One thing we discussed in our group was getting people to understand that this is not the Organizing for America organization. Every time you say OFA, I've started saying OF Action instead of just OFA because they think that's the Obama campaign and they get a headache and want to go away. And I also have a question. Midterms are coming up. Can we as OFA work with the local Democratic Party to help support Democratic candidates in our area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Jenny, both for your comments and your questions. And I know that's something that we hear a lot from folks as part of educating people on what Organizing for Action is doing. And a question that comes up a lot for folks is whether or not we can work with local Democratic parties. And the quick answer is no. And that's because as Organizing for Action, we are a C4 organization, and we don't participate in electoral anything. Democratic parties, on the other hand, their main focus and function is to work on electoral campaigns. And so for the sake of being very clear and transparent, as we talked a lot about on this call, we do not work with Democratic parties because we don't want any confusion as to whether or not we are an electoral campaign or a people organization. We organize just around issues. So, so that's the long and short answer on that one. Thank you, Jenny. Next, let's go to Marianne. Marianne, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay. Marianne Clemente, I assume, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, our group really didn't get to the questions. However, we had Pauline from Royersport in Pennsylvania, who's a suburb of Philadelphia, who's trying to start an OFA organization in her area, and she is out there hanging out alone. We gave her some pointers on what to do, and she's had some training on the van. But I would, and we hung up before we can exchange information, email information, because I'm happy to help her, but that you guys might want to reach out to her. Hello?
Yes. Sorry, I was unmuting your phone. Yes, thank you so much, Marianne. We will make sure to reach out to her and get her connected with with her state coordinator on
I
the ground.
told-
So that,
I told her to try and contact the Philadelphia chapter leader and maybe get some direction
Mhm.
there. So hopefully,
Yes.
you'll get her some help, please. All right.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Marianne. All right, so we want to keep trucking along because we know we're here in the middle of the day, and folks are want to respect your time. And we have Cindy Lay from Denver, Colorado, who has been organizing teams with OFA for quite some time now, many, many years, and is currently juggling 12 teams right now that you are putting together in Denver, and so has lots of really great ideas and best practices for folks on the phone. So I will kick it over to Cindy. Cindy, give us a second. All right, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
Well, I'll just start right off and say I think the best way to build teams is to talk to a lot of people. I built a list in Van of people in areas where I want to build a team. The very first thing is do one-on-one. And those are easy to do because if you're talking to them on the phone, you talk to them like they're your neighbor or they're right in front of you. And engage them. First, ask what their passion is. Why would they agree to have a meeting? And when I have the meeting, that's the first question I ask. Why did you agree to meet me today? And then I tell them my story, and I think that's the best way to connect, because if they know the reason you do it and your dedication to it, they'll understand that their story has a place in that organization too. Because mine's no more provocative than anybody else's, but it's one that I think I feel every time I say it. It's the reason I got started. And then I hook them into a team, or help them start a team. I get their work background, their family background, what issues are most important to them, and then let them talk and tell me their story. And from that, and from a little bit I've learned about their past involvement from Van, I can more or less figure out what they want to do. And then I ask them what time they have and how many hours do they devote to any volunteer effort. What would keep them involved and keep them active. And the most common answer is somebody to help me. So I think the next best thing you can be is their resource. You must be there for them. Train them and be a resource that's happy to do so, and I really am, to teach them about what their job is. And then get them in with another group that's done a little bit, but maybe not on a much higher level, so that they can brainstorm together and find a way to connect their team to the issues in that specific area, because every single area, every sub-team I build has a different focus. And so you have to let them keep that focus. Some want to stay right in their neighborhood. Some want to work on only one issue. In Colorado, with the floods, climate change is extremely important in southern Colorado and northern Colorado. They only want to work on that, and that's okay, because on a statewide basis, you're going to hit all those issues, and all of them are going to matter. So you let people work at what they do, and then find those jewels out there, those people who were data people in their lives, or were managers, or ran big organizations and lawyers, and understand that almost everybody you talk to has a unique talent. So I think your biggest job as an organizer is to tap that talent and then keep them excited about what they're doing. So give them the tools and resources they need. So the other kind of one-on-one I do most often is to teach them. I teach them Van, I teach them how to organize, I teach them how to run a meeting, and I make sure with whatever first effort they make, they have a mentor there, someone who's done it, and can help them walk through those steps. So now I have about 16 teams. I'm working on 19 teams, and my goal is to have at least 50 in Colorado. That seems lofty, but unless your goals are higher than you think you can do, you never reach higher. So I always try to make the goal a little bit more than I think I'm capable of and keep that challenge. I want to be as challenged as the people I ask to do work for us. I want to keep them challenged, and I can't do that unless they know I'm excited and involved and willing to take that challenge on myself. So that's a little bit about how I do it, And the other thing is to reach out to different demographic groups, children. Even young children, I encourage parents to bring their young children along. It excites them, and when they know they have their children there, children in the room, people know why they're doing this. We're doing it for that generation. We're doing it to build the world a bit in a better position and make it a better place for the future generation. And for now, I bring in college kids and anybody I can that is excited about what they're doing now. And if they're in a learning mode in high school, in college, even if they're in, if they're older and senior like I am, they're in something exciting. They're doing something in their community, so tap into that. I've talked enough now. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Wow, Cindy, thank you so much for sharing that. I don't think any one of us here could have said it any better than that. So thank you so much. Really great message. Bottom line is kind of go out and find people through calls, through your own networks, your own neighborhoods. And then really the key comes down to building a relationship with them. Letting them know why it is that you are passionate, hearing why they are passionate, and figuring out all the ways that we can utilize their talents. Because as we said, everyone has something to bring to the table, and it's our job to figure out what that is and how best to use it so that we are making everyone feel empowered and included in this movement that we're building. So thank you so much, Cindy, and good luck on all your teams out there, although clearly you don't need it. You're really great at organizing. We're glad to have you on the team. All right, so I think at this point we will pause for a second for any questions that folks have. Again, press 1 on your phone. If you have any questions for us, we're winding down on our time. We want to make sure that we keep this as succinct as possible so that you can get back to your regular lives outside of OFA. All right, not seeing any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up with that. Thank you all so much for coming to our call, for seeing our office, and we look forward to talking with you on the next volunteer call. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.